Hi everyone, it's Nat and welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday! How have you been? I feel like we haven't talked in so long. The last video came out was a Paris vlog, and I mean, I don't think I actually talked to you guys enough. It was a bit confusing. It was me and Ben's holiday away, and we've been like really busy recently. I won't get into it, you're probably not bothered, but we've been really busy recently and not seeing each other as much. We're kind of just focusing on having a good holiday, and I kind of forgot about you guys. I'm sorry. That will never happen again. It is Monday. I've just come back from uni. I really wanted to get this video filmed because I asked on my Instagram ages ago for questions for a master's Q&A, and I feel like I just left people hanging because I haven't answered them. So that's what I'm doing today. I've got a nice little tea. I get a lot of questions about masters just because loads of people are always undecided on whether to do them or not, and I don't think there's that much information online about it. And when I was undecided, I looked at a YouTube video, so this is what this is going to be for you. So I asked on my Instagram and Facebook for some questions. I'm just going to go through them now and answer the most popular questions. So sit back, get a cup of tea, get some biscuits. That's a great idea, but I'm having my dinner. But if you're not having your dinner, get some biscuits. And yeah, let's get into the video. Someone said, what masters are you doing? That probably should be the first question. I am doing a master's in cardiovascular science. So mine's a research master's, which means I will do 1 year of research and then I get 1 year to write up. Obviously you don't need a year, but they give you a year to write up, and then as in you have to submit by the end of that year. Probably won't bore you with the specifics, but it's on the heart and on a mutation in the heart specifically, so that's what I'm looking at. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a great master's. Another question was, why did you choose to do a master's? I've got two answers to this, because one is why I chose to do a master's, and one is like why I chose to do a research master's, because there was the availability to do a taught master's. So I personally was just really stuck. So I finished my undergrad and I went into working, and I worked in recruitment, and then I worked for the NHS for a bit, and I enjoyed them. Like, I enjoyed working in the NHS more than the recruitment, but they just weren't really what I wanted to do. And then lockdown happened and I was still really confused on what I wanted to do, and I had some health problems, which meant that I had to quit my job at the NHS. And because of the health problems, I ended up just moving home just to be with my parents. And I went to my parents, they were like, you know, why don't you do a master's in your undergrad subject like you've always liked? My undergrad subject was biochem. You always liked biochem. It's a subject that you enjoyed. You haven't really tried research, and it's something that you're kind of, you did, so it's something that you're trained for. And you know, why not just go for it and see? And I thought, do you know what, they're right. My third year was just awful. No, it wasn't awful, but I was just super stressed. I found it really hard, and it kind of got to the end of my third year where I was like, I just want to get out of here. I just want a job. I can't do it with uni anymore. So I kind of binned off the idea of a master's, because I was like, I'm physically, mentally, I cannot handle it. So when my parents were like, you know, you didn't give it a go, I was like, yeah, I actually didn't give it a third go. And I did really enjoy biochem. I found it so interesting. So that was kind of the main reason I wanted to see what it was like to work in research, because if I do like it, then that's an excellent career path to go. And if I don't like it, I've got a master's, so I'm more employable. So yeah, it's like a win-win. It's only about a year of my time, because I know I say you have a year to research, a year to write up, but if you write up in like a month, you can just submit it and then get a job or whatever. And the reason, following on from that I did a research master, not a taught master, is because I wanted to see what it was like to be a researcher. And a taught master's doesn't really give you the opportunity to do that. Another question that I got, which is, does the uni you do a master's in matter? And I don't know, I think you're asking the wrong person. So to answer this question, I actually called Ben, because I was like mumbling and I was all over the place and I didn't know how to answer because I was worried to offend people. But basically, me and Ben agreed that it depends on why you're doing a master's. So if you're doing a master's purely for employability, then yeah, it probably matters how the company you want to apply to views your uni. And I don't know how you would go about doing that. Maybe go on the company's website and go on the company's LinkedIn and look at their like employees and see what unis they've gone to. Maybe that's a good idea actually. So if you're purely doing a master's on employability, then yeah, it does count. But if it's for research purpose, so you want to do the master's because you want to dive in more depth about your subject, or like I did, you want to see how it's like to be in research, then it matters more how that subject is at that uni. So for example, if the uni is like ranked like last, the UK ranking, but you know, so and so is like the leading expert in like cancer, you know, the lab that you want to apply to, then that's so much more beneficial for you than uni being ranked highly. So I think it is definitely dependent on what you're doing the masters for. How did you choose your masters course? Now, this is a difficult one because mine is a research masters. So for my specific masters, the way that you choose, you kind of look at the labs of the university you want to apply to and kind of just look at what they do and, you know, the projects that they're working on, and just basically if any project tickles your fancy, kind of email them and be like, oh hi, like I'm interested in working in your lab, this is my CV, can we have like a Zoom call to talk about the lab, like if you're interested in taking on a master's student. I could do a specific video on like masters by research if anyone's interested in it. Let me know in the comments down below. My masters, the way I chose it was I went on the University of Bristol website because I knew I wanted to come to Bristol, and I just went through all the labs, like all of the labs in biochem. I looked at all the physiology, pharmacology and neuroscience labs, which is the department I'm in now, and the cellular molecular medicine labs, because those were the areas that I was interested in. And yeah, I just went through all of them, made like notes on what they're studying, what techniques they were using. And for me personally, I wanted to learn specific techniques. So even if there was a lab that the subject matter wasn't particularly the top for me, if they were doing the techniques that I wanted to learn, I still applied to it. And then yeah, just was like, please can I join your lab? Has you got space for a little one? And someone said yes, so that was great. I'm happy about that. But yeah, with the taught masters, I think it's a bit more formal. I think you apply to just the taught masters course because you don't really have a choice. I guess you can choose modules once you're in it, but with like a taught masters, which is set program where you have set lectures and coursework to do, you just apply via like a university portal, I guess, like you would do with an undergraduate degree via UCAS, but I think with a master's you apply directly to the university. The next question is, how do you manage a master's and maybe a part-time job? So master's is quite expensive. Depending on what master's you do, they vary quite a lot in price. You get a set amount from the government, so a master's loan is 11 grand, and masters are usually around 4-5 grand, but I also have to pay bench fees, so basically it's just paying for consumables. So my total that I pay is coming up to 9-10 grand. So the 11 grand does not cover living at all. So I have a part-time job because that's how I can live and buy stuff. I'm lucky enough to live at home, so that's definitely something that I would look into when you're applying to a master. Make sure that you know how much it is, make sure what loans are available to you. If you can't have a student loan, I'm sure there's other loans that you can look into. I am managing all right. I'm quite fortunate that my work is online, and also my supervisor is very good with me having a job. Like, he understands, and you know, if someday I can't make it to the lab, or if I say, oh, can like I work later but come in later, he's very understanding. So definitely, if you are doing a master's and are thinking of getting a part-time job or have got a part-time job and are struggling, talk to a supervisor and just say to them, like, this is how I can afford being here, so is there anything you can do, switch my schedule around? I can appreciate it's hard if you're doing a taught master's because you have lectures that you have to go to and seminars. Another solution to that would be to ask the uni if they have any jobs. So a big thing in my department is teaching in undergraduate labs. So it's quite a good pay, and it works around your schedule because they know that it's people doing masters and PhD that are doing the teaching. So looking at doing something like that is probably more feasible potentially if you want to earn money that fits around your masters. But yeah, the question was kind of how I'm dealing with it. It's fine. Like, there are days where I'm super stressed because I've got so much work to do, and there are days where I'm not. But I think the main way I handle it is just time management. Like, my Google Calendar is like my holy grail. I can't do anything about it. Everything's scheduled, everything's there, and I just kind of divide my day and make sure that getting my master's work done and getting my work done. I think the main thing is to just not stress about it. I know that's so hard, and like, I'm a stressor. Next question is, how is the workload compared to undergrad? It's more obviously, because it's a master's, so it is like a higher qualification, so obviously there's going to be more work, but at the same time you are more qualified to do that work. So even though you have more stuff to read, a bigger dissertation to write, because you've gotten into the masters, you have all the skills to be able to do that. So it's not hard, it's just a lot to learn. And especially with research masters, where you're going into a lab potentially for the first time, there are a lot of techniques and a lot of things that you need to learn, and it can be quite daunting at the start because you're having to kind of write everything down. Like at the start it was not horrible, it was really scary and I really struggled, but now I'm kind of hitting the halfway mark, and I'm, you know, I just do it like it's nothing, like it's kind of an everyday thing, like my experiments, which at the start I was really struggling with. My third year was more stressful than my masters, because I feel that in third year you have a dissertation to write, at least we did in biochem. We had dissertation to write, we had exams, we had coursework, plus you're in third year, so you kind of want to do all the social things that you want to do before you leave uni. So yeah, it was so much more stressful than this master year is. Also because a master's by research, you kind of run your own time, you're in charge of your project, you're in charge of what you do. But I think even with the taught masters, you are a little bit more independent with your work. So if you're good at managing your time, and if you're the sort of person that likes to have a little bit more freedom, then yeah, the masters is great. But I've not gotten to the point of writing up my masters, so that'll be a whole different conversation. For now, yeah, the workload is harder in the sense that there's always something to do, and it is effectively a 9-to-5 job. That's how long it takes to get the stuff done. Next question. So this is quite a long question, but someone said, hi, I'm currently wondering about a master's in my final year of undergraduate. One thing that is holding me back is the cost. How have you dealt with the cost of the course, and how has it compared to an undergraduate? And she wants to know if the course material differs from an undergraduate in terms of difficulty, type of project, output. So kind of similar to the last one, but a bit different. One thing holding it back is cost. So as I said, cost, look into it. My master's is quite expensive because of the bench fees, which is consumables, but I'm on like the expensive side of consumables. So if you have, I don't know what sort of masters you're looking to apply to, but if it's a research masters, your consumables might also be less. So first of all, find the masters and look at the price, and then kind of go from there. If it's something that you really want to do, as I said, you can get a part-time job, and there are so many part-time jobs out there. As I said, you can apply to the uni, you can apply to an online job, so there are ways of going around it. I wouldn't let the cost hold you back if you really want to do it, because there are ways around it. And how the course material differs, so yeah, it differs from undergraduate, I think, completely, at least research wise. I don't have any lectures or exams, it's just in the lab 9-to-5. A taught masters, my boyfriend's doing a taught masters, and his is also like very much more chill than his undergraduate was. Obviously still like a lot of work, and he has exams and he studied really hard for them, but you have more leeway in like what units you want to do and what you want to focus on, so it's better. But I think that's the whole point of doing a master's. You're doing it to specialize, and because there's parts of your course that you want to specifically focus on, so the work differs in the sense of it's more enjoyable because it's something that you've chosen to do. Whilst an undergraduate, you've chosen to do the subject, but there'll be things you don't like in it, and there'll be areas that you're like, oh my god, yeah, this is amazing. So with a master's, theoretically, it should all be stuff that you enjoy doing. Type of project, output. For a taught masters, it would be exams, coursework, and a dissertation. For a research masters, which is what I'm doing, it's just a dissertation. I'm not really sure how many words it is yet, but obviously I will let you know during the time. Someone said, I've never really understood what a master's degree is or what it's like, so I would appreciate general information. And she also said, congrats on getting to do a master's. Thank you very much, that's lovely. Master's degree is effectively the step up from an undergraduate degree. People do it because they want to specialize in an area of their undergrad. They want to do it to be more employable. Third option is you want to do a master's because you're thinking of doing maybe a PhD, but you don't want to take the step into a 3-year course, so you just do the 1 year. Master's is a 1 or 2 year course where you specialize in an area of your choosing, really. Obviously a taught master, it's multiple areas, like you do specialize, but I think it's a bit more broader than a research master where it's literally one thing that you're studying. Right, so I feel like I've babbled along for quite a while. If you do want an in-depth video on like how to apply to a master's and like specifics about it, then just let me know in the comments down below and I will do it. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that I didn't babble on for too long. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below any questions that you have. I will answer them, and click the subscribe button to join the ItsNat family. I would love to have you. I hope you have a wonderful week. Talk to you all in my next video. Love you lots. Bye.